What's up, everyone? I'm here with Carter, and we're going to talk about how he did $2 million in sales last year with online arbitrage. Let's get right into it. So we're here in Miami. We got a brief overlap, travel schedule-wise, get to hang out a little bit. We've known each other for a couple of years from shoes back in the day, and now we're both doing Amazon and everything. So
OG student.
Yeah, well, we don't need to, yeah, definitely. So he's actually the first guy I ever worked with. Back when it was one-on-one, now it's group right there, but you're kicking ass and everything. So we want to learn how, like what types of products you're selling, the model. You're obviously doing online arbitrage mainly, working on getting some wholesale and stuff. But you started out doing shoe reselling back in the day, just like me, and that was like StockX, Go, like Jordans, things like that, Yeezys. And now you're doing online arbitrage, and it's such a shift, because the people who are buying stuff on StockX are looking for like the most hype stuff and everything, and then on Amazon it's like the random like Air Force Ones, beauty items, like you can sell anything and all that. So what really made you want to get into Amazon?
I mean, I always thought I wanted to get into Amazon when I was doing I was sitting in Minneapolis doing a lot of like in-store loops. With
oh yeah, so that's a lot of work then. Yeah.
Yeah, and you basically we had some relationships with the managers and stuff like that. So in the beginning it was real good. We would take all the stock, but then it started to like there would literally be 10 people sitting at the mall all day.
Yeah, and
so
if there's like, only a certain amount of
so we'd have to work with the managers and like, hey, put them out now, we're here, like, and then we'd have to run out.
And it's complex too, and that's less scalable as well. It requires a lot more specific knowledge. When like if a vitamin's selling great, you might be able to buy 100 of that, and that like might have been the same amount of work. And what's beautiful too is this: people who come from like other types of reselling, you can work on online arbitrage any day of the week, anytime. Like there's always profitable products sitting on Walgreens or CVS or Kohl's, these other websites and everything. And then what types of items are you mainly selling on Amazon? Like all types of stuff, or are you focusing in one area?
I definitely don't focus too much. I mean, my bread and butter used to be kind of the shoes and clothing, but I've definitely been running away from it. I mean, with a lot of competition.
Exactly, right? Because it's the entry point. Yeah, right. And because you get better at finding stuff that's not from mainstream websites, and you get those more competitive advantages, and that kind of leads right into wholesale and stuff too. We were talking about like, there's that's the beauty of this, is that like, I like the idea, and this is something one of my friends was talking about on the podcast recently, of like just starting with what you know. You and I knew shoes and clothing, right? So it made perfect sense. It was really quick because we already trusted that stuff resold. You could look at something and have a decent idea if it was good out on Amazon, and it's like the exact same type of thing. If for whatever reason, if you're really into video games, like we have friends who do mainly video games, like toys, like whatever hobby you like, whether that be sporting goods, beauty stuff, like it makes a lot of sense to start there, I think, because you'll have the most fun sourcing it, and then you'll get the feedback loop going quicker because you already have a decent idea of what stuff does well and everything like that. And you did a lot of sales with online arbitrage with no VAs. So we were just talking about, because you just got your first VA, right?
Yeah, I mean, honestly, I haven't spent a whole lot of time on it. Like, the main thing that I was spending time on doing was just the prep work, which, depending on how I was sourcing and stuff like that, sometimes it's not the easiest.
Well, it depends on the item. Yeah, oh, true, address-wise and all that.
And the low-cost stuff, I know we both kind of moved away from like the super low-cost stuff recently.
Oh, true, but, good point.
Like there wasn't always that margin there to be spending maybe the $1.50.
Yeah, because those of you guys watching this, because Minnesota's sales tax advantage, right?
Clothing,
yeah, okay, if you're in Minnesota, that's some free game right there. Yeah. So. Not Wisconsin, but Minnesota. Yeah, so you have a big advantage in those type of items if you're located in that area. So no VAs then, so you were just doing mainly the buying yourself and with the boys basically?
Yeah, it's really wasn't too time consuming. It's more of, I was doing a lot of replenishing and stuff like that after I found some good items. So I mean, that's why I'm bringing on a VA now, or I'm kind of looking for them, training them in and stuff like that, because once I'm going more wide and stuff like that, that's when you need some help, like when you're looking at tons and tons of different listings and items to possibly buy.
And it's cool because like my VA specifically, as of the past like 3 weeks I've had him hired, he's finding like new products, new websites, like because they have their own methods of finding stuff, similar to the way you and I each have our own methods of finding stuff. So it exposes you to new types of products, and then it's like so unbelievably cheap, like $10 a day, like $300 a month, stuff like that. For any guys who aren't really sure what we mean by VA, it's basically a virtual assistant where it's someone typically in a third world country like Pakistan, India, the Philippines, who, $4 an hour or $6 an hour goes very far in those countries. So you can actually hire one of those to help with your Amazon business, whether it be like admin stuff, buying, or sourcings typically. People have VAs for all different types of stuff. Like I have an awesome VA who's editing the video you guys are watching right now and everything. Is the man right there. So it's like, it's super helpful having that infrastructure in place. And and everything like that. And then I always talk about like the networking side of things. Are you talking to other sellers often? Like, do you have anyone you like trade buys with or anything like that?
Definitely talk to a lot of people and reach out. Feel free to reach out to me if you'd like.
Yeah, we'll have his stuff. We'll mention that then too, but his Instagram's linked below as well.
I answer a lot of beginner questions kind of day to day, but I definitely will have like long conversations with a lot of people.
Sure, exactly, right? Because like when you build that goodwill with people, they end up helping you too. Like you and I have to spend so much less time on the buying than we used to, right? Because we now have people where we're talking about different things. Like you and I'll text about different products from time to time and everything, and like you just let that knowledge compound. It's just like shoes and just like anything. Like you just have to do it long enough to get lucky. Like when that big sale happened on Black Friday, some of that other stuff we've taken advantage of. If you only started 6 weeks ago and you're not finding a lot of success yet, it's probably because you haven't even given yourself time long enough to get lucky with a big sale or a specific product, and like the sales haven't happened for an entire year. You haven't even seen that go through. You haven't even had the chance to replenish a product and everything like that. So, you know, things change and everything, but like over time, you know, you get so much better, and that's why it's important to stick with this stuff. Like you can go look at my videos from a year ago. It's way worse than I am. Hopefully a year from now will be way better too on that. So these questions you're answering for people, what are the typical mistakes you think a lot of beginners are making? Because you had success quick, and I feel like I had a decent amount of success pretty quick, like 6 figures profit, like your first calendar year. Like a lot of people watching this are trying to do that. Like what mistakes do you think people are making often?
Well, it's definitely, there's 2 different groups. So there's the people that are kind of coming in from the shoes.
Sure, and that's an advantage.
There's a crazy amount of coming from the shoes right now. And a lot of those people are just going straight into shoes, and I would advise them to try to, obviously like do what you know for a little bit and just be able to like get sales, but you definitely want to continue to expand that kind of variety and work into other categories and stuff like that.
Sure, because the shoe and clothing stuff's just going to come naturally easy to you, but you'll be learning that other stuff too. And everything, but then it's a lot. Like you and I were lucky. Like we had already been re-signed for a few years, but the people who are getting into it like brand new, what should they be doing? Do you think?
It definitely seems like a lot of people don't put the time into it. Like they're spending more time asking people questions than they are sourcing.
Completely agree.
So, like,
yeah.
They don't even like
focus on the big
understand the Keepa, and they're trying to ask questions. But the more that you actually know, the better of questions you're going to be able to ask, and the more likely you're going to get a good answer.
Because you can tell if someone's going to succeed most of the time based off the questions they ask.
Millions.
You know, right? Because it's like, you know, if someone's asking like, my worst is like someone will ask a question on Instagram and it'll be like, okay, X, Y, answer it, and you can check out my YouTube channel as well, and then they'll be like, what's the name of it? Like, dude, like, you're just like, you know what I mean? Like, we're out here helping people for free and everything and stuff. But yeah, the time, right? You got to focus on the big things, right? What you do on day one with online arbitrage, you're going to be clicking around like crazy, having no idea what you're looking at. 6 months from now, you're going to be probably have other people you're talking to frequently about it. You're going to have opportunity that comes to you if you do things right. It's going to be so much easier for you to find stuff and everything. It's like day one, which might be today for some of you guys watching, that's going to be completely different than day one. And you know, eventually you can come maybe hang out with us in Miami and, you know, looking at some wholesale purchase orders you've been placing and stuff too. What do you see opportunity-wise, like wholesale and private label down the line? Like what's making you interested in that stuff?
Mostly the kind of the scalability, the less fluctuation. So like day to day when you're doing OA, it's kind of like mining for gold. It's like, oh, I found something. Oh, I found something.
And that might be gone tomorrow though, right? Because Valentine's Day sales might be over. You know, different things like that.
Yeah, I mean, it's just not very, the consistency, scalability, and then obviously when you're getting out of OA into private label or into kind of other real businesses, in my opinion, something that doesn't have equity isn't
it exists outside of you. You know what I mean? Where if you want to get out of it, you might have the potential to sell it down the line. And a private label product on Amazon, your name isn't tied to it. If it has good reviews, people are just searching for it and buying it. So that's why someone might want to buy that business down the line. I completely agree. Online arbitrage is a great way to free up your time, but they are much better if you can build that skill set to make 6 figures profit multi-annually with OA. That skill set can be translated into higher leverage opportunities they can go for. And I completely agree. Where can people find you on Instagram?
Carter James Golden on Instagram. I think it's Carter J Golden
on Twitter. We'll get to both that stuff.
I spend more time on Twitter for sure.
Oh, more time on Twitter. Okay.
There's nothing valuable on Instagram.
Okay.
Only Instagram stories.
Well, only his Instagram stories, my Instagram stories, and everything. So make sure you guys follow Carter. Appreciate it, and I'll see you guys in the next one.